Yo guys, how's it going? So in this tutorial I'm trying to talk about 5 Redis use cases in distributed systems. Actually I'm trying to talk about the first one and the second one. I mean, first of all you have to know what is Redis, but anyway we're gonna talk about it and we're gonna read this article and keep continue explaining about it. So Redis it's if I'm gonna read this, we'll talk about the top use cases that have been better tested in production at various companies and at various scales. Get insight into how Redis solve interesting scalability challenges for us, and learn why it is a great tool to know well in our system design toolset. So first of all, what is Redis and why do people use it? Before I read it, Redis can use like an in-memory database, but we call it NoSQL database. So we can read it here as well. So Redis is an in-memory data structure store. It it's most commonly used as a cache. It supports many data structures such as string, hash, list, sets, sorted sets, and so on. Redis is known for its speed. So because Redis is a in-memory database and using RAM, but like for example MySQL is a disk, like using disk, it's not a in-memory database. So definitely Redis is a lot more faster because it is in memory. So it's gonna try to save all of our data in memory instead of in disk. So the first use case is about caching, definitely. So first of all you have to know what is cache. Imagine you're gonna go to the um, I'm gonna bring example. Let me show. I don't know which example do I have to look. I'm gonna go for Google Map, for example, or Google.com, or Google Map, or whatever, or any other website. Doesn't matter really. Uh, any other website which does have header and footer or anything common. Not this one. I can go even for Medium as well. If I'm gonna go for Medium.com. Yeah, imagine you're going inside this I mean this one. The caching is not a big deal here, because every time when we're gonna go to the Medium we're gonna see a different, usually we're gonna see a different articles. But like if you're gonna go for example to YouTube, there are some stuff which they're common, so we're gonna have it all the time, like header, footer, whatever. So every time if you're going to send a request to that website or URL, and every time if it's going to try to download that data which is common and every time show it to you, definitely it takes time, right? So that's the moment, that's the time which we're going to use cache. So we're going to use cache when we want to make it faster. So as you can see here the number one use case for Redis is caching object to speed up web application, and the example is this. In this case, in this use case, Redis store frequently requested data in memory. It allows the web server to return frequently accessed data quickly. So instead of downloading the most frequent, most common, like example header, footer, or whatever of the website, every time when the user gonna send a request, the first time when the user gonna send a request, it's gonna download all that automatically, and then after it's gonna save it in the cache. So the next time when we're gonna load the Medium, it's gonna load faster. Why? Because first time when you send a request is already downloaded and save it in the cache, so there is no need of downloading the data again. So because it's already saved the frequent access data in the cache, and it's gonna show that data in that website in the cache instead of downloading that data again and again and again. So I mean, I tried my best to explain you guys what is cache, but like that is cache. So it's gonna simply first time when you're gonna go to a new website, you're gonna download the content of that website, and then the next time you're not gonna download it again. You're gonna load that website in a second. Why? Because you already downloaded one time and that data has already saved in the cache, and just show you that data from the cache instead of downloading it again and then show it to you. So in that case, we're gonna use Redis. So we're gonna simply save that frequently accessed data in memory. As you can see, Redis store frequently requested data in memory. It allows the web server to return frequently accessed data quickly. So this reduces the load on the database. So it's not going to send a imagine you're going to this website, right? If the first time you're going to this website, it's going to send a request to database, and then from database it's going to bring out all the information and show it to you. But if you're going to load data again, then if it's going to do the same and then try to send a request to database and then again get the information from database and bring it for you guys, definitely it takes a lot more time. That's the moment that we have to use cache. So that's why here this reduces the load on the database and improve the response time for the application. At a scale, the cache is distributed among a cluster of Redis servers. Sharding is a common technique to distribute the caching load evenly across the cluster. So I hope you guys understand the cache and why we use it. But the other part which is so interesting is about the session, so or the cookies. So whenever you're gonna imagine that there is a logging page here, and then like Facebook or Instagram or any other social media like that. Anytime if you're gonna go, imagine I'm going to my Instagram here right now. I have to log in, right? I mean, imagine I'm gonna go for Switch account. I have to log in every time, right? So every time when I wanna go to Instagram.com, I have to log in and put my credential and then click on login. If there is no session, every time that I have to do that. But if this website gonna store my information one time in the session ID and then as a cookie, the next time when I'm gonna load the Instagram, if in my browser I have the session ID exist, so I have that cookie exist, so I don't need to enter the username and password again. I'm gonna automatically go inside. But the thing is, you have two options to store the session ID or cookies inside the MySQL or SQL database, or any kind of SQL database, or we can use NoSQL database like Redis, which is a memory database. So in that situation, it's a lot more faster because it's gonna get that session ID or the cookie of that user from the memory instead of the disk. So that's why it's a lot more faster. And then when I'm gonna go inside the Instagram.com and then I already log in one time and I have the session in my browser, it's gonna directly go inside the Instagram a lot more faster than sending than using the MySQL, for example, because in that case, if we store the session ID inside the MySQL, what is gonna happen? I'm gonna go inside the Instagram.com with the speed of what example I can bring it for you. Imagine the speed is 0. 0. Imagine the speed is 0.001. This is for MySQL. If the speed of getting the session ID from the MySQL is this, the speed of getting the session ID from the Redis is gonna be this. This is different. I mean, this is kind of random numbers, but I'm trying to explain you guys what is the difference. So that's all. So as I said, imagine we're gonna store the session ID inside the MySQL instead of Redis. Every time when the user try to access to that session ID or the cookie, so he's not going to enter his username and password again and again and again. It's gonna take this much time to get the session ID automatically from the MySQL and then log in without entering their credential. But if the programmers or developers they use Redis, to store the session ID is gonna take this much time. This is a lot more faster than this. So that's how it works. So this is the other part which I was trying to explain, session IDs. So I mean, Redis is so cool. uh, it's not like we have to use it as a main database. Sometimes we have to have couple of database. MySQL, it can be good database for consistent database. So, and it has a lot more features. I mean, I'm gonna show you guys, but like if we want, we can use Redis as well for some part of our website which we need to be more efficient and faster, and especially in real-time analysis or this AI project. Definitely Redis gonna be a better idea to use. And then I have an example here, the session ID. In Redis, session ID is used to identify sessions. User can store this session ID as a cookie or in the URL parameter. The session ID is stored as a cookie in the client browser by default. The session ID is saved in a cookie with the name uh, connect.sit. This cookie is used to identify and differentiate sessions between the server and the client, which I already explain you guys with the example of Instagram login. Here's the code. I don't care about the code, but like I'm trying to explain bonus caching. Redis can be used for purpose other than session management. You can also utilize Redis to cache data, which already we already read here, the caching object. And the other thing is session management. When using this JS to implement session management, Redis can be used as a session store. In this code example, Redis is introduced at the entry point, allowing the storage of session data in Redis. So as explained, we can store our session data in MySQL as well. But like this is a different speed when the browser trying to get that session ID value from different database. If it's going to get it from a disk or it's going to get it from in memory. In memory. I mean, I have to explain about other part as well. Sometimes the price of the RAM is important too, because as we know, disk is cheaper than RAM. I mean, Redis is in memory and the MySQL is in disk, but like I mean, it depends on the situation, but it's not like we have to use Redis all the time or we have to use MySQL all the time. I'm just trying to explain that in what situation we have to use which database. This is a in-memory database, NoSQL database, and this is a MySQL database, in this disk database. So we definitely gonna use it as well in a real project. It is so useful, but like for different scenarios which we need to be more efficient and faster, like session management or caching, it's a better idea to use Redis because it's in memory and it's faster. I explained about the speed as well, about the session management. So that's all I was trying to talk about. I mean, there are other use cases definitely here, distributed logs, which I can explain in other videos. Here, rate limiter, gaming leaderboard. This is cool as well. This is trying to explain that real-time analysis at the end. At the real time, it has to show the score, for example, and the members and everything, because in real time, imagine you're in the, I don't know, Counter Strike, CS:GO or whatever. You're killing somebody in real time. It has to show, okay, your score was 97, but right now your score is 99. If every time it's gonna use MySQL, every time it has to send a request to database, this much time takes to bring the value here, right? But like if it's going to use an in-memory database, this much time takes. So that's why gaming leaderboard is important. We can read as well. Redis is delightful way to implement various type of gaming leaderboards. Sorted sets are the fundamental data structure that enable this. Sorted sets is similar to the set data structure in Redis. Members can be a list of non-repeating strings. The only difference is that each member is associated with a score, a floating point number that provides a sorting order for the sorted set. Members are always sorted from the smallest to the greatest. The elements are sorted by score, which I already explained that Imagine if you're gonna shoot somebody and you're gonna get a score, and when you get the score, it has to show that updated score exactly in real time. So imagine if you're using MySQL, it has to send a request to the disk, and it takes this much time. But instead, we're gonna use Redis for this purpose, so it takes this much time to show. I mean, this is all about efficiency and speed and all that performance. But like, we're not trying to say that any other database they're bad. We're trying to say that when we have to use, we all the developers, programmers, we all have tons of tools out there. We have to know when, in which situation, and under which common, what we call it that, under common stance. I don't know that English word anyway. So in which situation we have to use which kind of tool which we have. But definitely all these tools are good in different situations. And that's all I was trying to talk about. So I explained about this in a Medium article of this guy. You can follow this guy. I'm following it now. So, and I explained about this from this article, and then whatever I was trying to explain, even we have explanation from TipGPT. Here at the end, I'm gonna finish it with this. Use Redis for session storage when performance and speed are critical and you are dealing with a high traffic application where low latency is important. Use MySQL when you need reliable, persistent storage with a ACID compliance and when the session data fits well within the relational schema. So you already understand because I already read it for you guys, but like it was exactly the same thing which I was explaining in these 10 minutes. So that's all. I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel, and that's it. See you guys maybe later if I was alive.